In UN environment negotiations underway in Poland, blood pressure is on for nations to cut carbon sequestration emissions quick. The UK says it's a lead in environment changing, but is it? There's a listing of the nice and bad in regulation of the UK's environment changing recording, depending on your spot of type. The UK by the government claims to be a lead in cut carbon sequestration emissions. There are 5 artistic achievements of this and history administrations. Environment Changing Act 10 year back, the UK got the Environment Changing Instrument, that binds ministers to cut at low 80% of emissions by 2050. It has encouraged some governments of about the planet by proof we can include powerful economical increase until cut emissions. Scientists say how targets must now be stricter. Environment Changing Board ministers created an freelance Environment Changing Board to counsel on the cheapest and largest efficient ways of cut carbon sequestration emissions. The government has exceeded its brief-term targets, but it's sliding off of middle-term goals, and advisors say it'll present an enormous problem if it raises vanity to gear 100% of emissions by 2050. The UK sequentially above achieves on environment scientific. In spite conducting intermittent, Britain continues to deliver a unproportional quantity of conduct scientists for powerful UN accountable precautionary of the urgent of environment changing. The Banking of England Governor Mark Carney took a world stay by precautionary firms how fossil gas holdings may miss importance as we gear environment changing. Several finance institutions include begun to get note, but environmentalists complain about how lot are chasing industry as normal. Auctioning subsidies. It sounds unclear, but the UK entered a framework in that Breeze Force firms needing finance supporting had to bid at auction house. Near over-supporting, and technique innovate, the auction house trial has drastically constrained downward the cost of offshore breeze. Environmentalists take how the UK has undertaken a management part in the history, but they claim how their ambitions are too cheap. Lot campaigners as well say how ministers include done too lot politics in turns. There are 5 of their complaints. Coastal breeze is our cheapest pure power resource, and by the government surveys its favorite by largest human beings. In 2015, ministers solved to practically unit new coastal breeze force in the UK following behind bench MPs told it was unloved. Ministers told regional human beings should include a presidential veto above breeze gas turbines. Roads ministers encourage human beings to loop to enhance public health and bring contamination, yet regional councils can't provide to fill in potholes. Meantime, £30 billion has creature consumable on new barrel roads. The government is charged of conducive big infrastructure facilities above little in policies such as an extension of aircraft. Ministers say roads and runways are necessary to encounter next consumer demand. Railing regional passenger railing services get human beings out of cars, but they are starving on financing. Meantime, innumerable billions are creature consumable on top rate length range railing. Ministers say railing power must be enlarged. Sunny following one of David Mr. Cameron's aides was told to include pledge to receive rid of the verdant buckwheat, by the government cut supporting for Sunny Power Night. It furious investors and halfway the production. Ministers told Sunny should stay on its own feet. Homes environment changing can't be tackled except homes remain hot superior. But following by the government cut grants, isolation numbers omitted by 90%. Ministers as well annihilated a schedule at the recent min for null carbon homes. They told it would lift the price of habitation. The Board on Environment Changing say policies needy instant activity are household isolation and cheap carbon heater, cheap cost renewable energy, consisting coastal breeze, power effectiveness and electrical vehicles. In supplement, by the government as necessary to as well bootstart new industries in carbon sequestration, seize and store and hydrogen gas. In the much longer term, the largest challenges will be reduction emissions of aircraft, production and agriculture sectors.